And what she noticed was suddenly there was an image of an infant, a baby, and she said it was her as a baby wrapped up in a blanket, and she was laying in the fetal position on one of the edges of this anchor of light. And within a week, that picture changed. So there was a little girl, just a young girl, about 3 or 4, but the girl was sitting up and she had the blanket just wrapped around her, and she was really taking note and more interest in what was going on. So obviously the deeper part of Lisa was starting to feel safer. And she has not had a panic attack since she started. So what she's starting to realise is that she has a power inside her that she can turn to stabilise her. And it's about taking that control back and becoming empowered. So when we anchor externally, we are powerless because it always shifts. But when we learn to anchor internally, we take our power back. And the power inside us then grows stronger and bigger. We become a lot more stable. Now, it works with everything. It doesn't matter what the condition might be, whether it is anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's chronic fatigue, or whether it's an illness. When we start to anchor internally, we have shifts and changes. And one of the things that is really tricky in our life is that we've been conditioned to really live our life through the values that society holds. And look, some of society's values are absolutely valid. They're wonderful. But there's a lot of them that aren't so crash hot. We tend to teach our kids one way, and when we look at society and the way it runs, it does exactly the opposite. We say that, don't be violent towards anybody, and yet we have violent television shows, we have violent movies coming in. It's not about what we say, it's about what we do. Our society, our children, we will always follow what the action is rather than what the words are. So there's a lot of things in society that really are out of balance as far as living and values and family values go. And when it's out of alignment, we lose our centre, we lose our happiness. And one of the things that we're all really looking for is happiness. We want to feel happy. And there's only one way that we can really have this stable feeling of a peace, a deeper peace inside, and happiness, and that is by anchoring internally. We can't have any person come in that can make us happy. We can't have a new car that can make us happy. They're just short-lived things. In 6 months' time, it's just the car or the person, we've had an issue with them, so we're not happy anymore. Nothing can make us happy if it's external. Happiness comes from a deep place within, from anchoring into that higher intelligence that is not separate to us. It is who we are. It's part of us. So learning our own true deeper values is important. That's another step that you can take with healing, is to really know what your values are. If we look at society values, and if you actually draw a line, a horizontal line, that you could say that's the societal values. It's more the smaller self or the human self. It's conditioned intelligence. It's what we think we should do when we make decisions. And if we think of a vertical line crossing that line is the one that we really need to start working with. That's your personal core values. It's where you learn to honour yourself at a deeper level. It's the higher intelligence or the greater, the bigger self that we start to work with. And that can deepen and deepen into almost an endless well of wisdom, of power, of love. And we start to feel really connected with ourselves and really get to know ourselves. And when you know yourself well, you feel a lot more secure and happier inside, and you can make your everyday life choices, the decisions you make, little ones, medium ones, and large ones, based on the values that you hold internally. And when you start to really honour yourself in that way, you start to feel pretty good. You start to feel happier inside, more content with yourself and your life, and we're less attached to things, meaning that we're less reactive. We just feel more peaceful inside. So really learning your own values is another step on the road to healing. My book is at the publishers at the moment, and it's called Living Beyond Stress, Anxiety and Overwhelm, 9 Steps to Freedom. And it has all of these things written up in the book and the steps to take when we're really wanting to change our lives in some way and really just get on track and feel good about who we are as a human being and empowering ourselves so that we become balanced. We become kind, strong. It's almost like a marriage of the masculine and the feminine energies within us that make us whole, that make us feel that we're a part of life. And we feel more found, if you like, rather than lost. It's a really, really powerful way to live. And you start to feel happy, which is great, really content with your life. So walking back to happiness is... the way we do that is to anchor within. And here's Helen Shapiro with Walking Back to Happiness.
Funny, but it's true what loneliness can do. Since I've been away, I have loved you more each day. Walking back to happiness. Oh, yeah, yeah. Said goodbye to loneliness. Oh, yeah. I never knew I'd miss you. Now I know what I must do. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. I'm making up for things I said. Oh, yeah. And mistakes to which they led. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't have gone away, so I'm coming back today. Yeah, walking back to happiness I threw away. Walking back to happiness with you. Said farewell to loneliness I knew. I laid aside foolish pride, learned the truth from tears I cried. Spread the news, I'm on my way. So true, cause that's what I owe to you. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. Walking back to happiness with you. I said farewell to loneliness I knew. I laid aside foolish pride, learned the truth from tears I cried. Spread the news, I'm on my way. That's what I owe to you. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. Walking back to happiness again. Walking back to happiness again. Walking back to happiness again.
Welcome back. This is Mind, Body, Heart and Soul, and you're listening to Christine Hart-Savage. So today we've been speaking about the power of healing, and we really do have all of the answers that we need inside us. We can certainly have help from other people, assistance, support, all of those things, because life will give to us what we need. And I'd like to say it'll give to us what we want, but that's not always the way it is. In fact, very rarely. We always are given what we need rather than what we want, even if we don't like that. But we are loved. I really, really believe that. In fact, it's gone beyond a belief. It is a knowing. One of my greatest gifts in life was the breakdown I had. It really took me within. It taught me so much about who I am. And I know that there's a lot more to learn, and I think it's an ongoing thing. There's gift after gift in this life. We just have to keep looking towards ourselves and really not being too down, not judging ourselves, just being kinder to who we are. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Just get back up, pat yourself on the back and say, okay, you're fine. Start being your own best friend. And that's one of the things I've found as time's gone on. I'm much, much kinder to myself. And I really don't judge myself the way I used to. And of course, that has reflected in all of my relationships where I really don't judge other people because we're all the same. Underneath, we are all exactly the same. And we're all trying to do the best we can. And we're living in this pea soup together, really learning and growing. But the one thing that you will experience if you start looking within, start doing some meditation or some breathing or something that takes you internally, that takes you inside yourself, even sitting in nature and just being still with that will make a great difference to how you're feeling about yourself. So we're coming to the end of the program now, and we're going out with All You Need Is Love by the Beatles, because it's true, self-love's the way to go.